Hey YouTube, it's Z the Gladiator coming at you with the Gravekeeper format deck profile. So first off, we got Gravekeeper's Visionary 1. Most people don't play him, but he's your main beat stick of the deck. Sack 1 Gravekeeper's monster and just normal summon him. Just 1 tribute right off the bat. And he gains 200 for every Gravekeeper in your grave. And if he would be destroyed, you can save him by discarding 1 Gravekeeper's monster. Next up, we got 2 Gravekeeper's Commandant. I've seen people play 3. I think 3 is really nice, but it's not necessary unless you're really dependent on it. Next up, we got 1 Gravekeeper's Assailant for getting over those problematic monsters that your opponent might have that's really huge. Like, for instance, maybe a Malefic Cyberend.
Like, pretty much anything. I mean, anything that's like a boss monster usually has sorry defense.
Like Ophion. We got 2 Descendants. Yes, it should be at 3, but I don't feel 3 is still necessary. Because you're going through other things and you need more cards. 2 Spirit Soldiers for now. I'm going to change this as soon as Legacy of the Valiant comes out. Put this down to 1 and probably throw in their special summoning set monster, Disciple. 1 Cannon, because he is the best burn card of the entire series. Sack 1, inflict 700. I mean, if you can flood board, you have a derpy combo between him and Recruiter. And then if you still have 2 monsters left at the end of that and your opponent's within cowboy range, you can just do that. We have the standard 3 Spies. Because you got to search, and the search is real. 3 Recruiters.
Definitely. Mandatory effect, so no matter, I mean, if it don't get banished or returned to your hand or deck, it's going to go off.
Like I played this one guy, I used Descendants Effect, Sack Recruiter, and Descendants Effect, Sack Recruiter, targeted his face down. He flipped his face down, and it was a smog, and I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to get the effect. And then it turns out I can get the effect because just so long as the condition is met, just like with Dark Worlds and Atlantean monsters, his effect works the same. So long as the condition is met, it doesn't matter if at the time of activation it is banished or not. And then the 1 Gravekeeper's Guard. What can I say? He bounces pretty much anything that you need. And your opponent runs into him thinking he's like a spy maybe. It's like, oh, well, how do I deal with this now? He just returned it. I guess I'll just bring it back in later. On to the spells. We got the 1 Allure. The 2 Steel. I know it should be a 3. But the same situation with Commandant and Descendant. 2 Magical Dimension. I'd say this card's actually pretty good because it gets around all those problematic monsters like Stardust or anything like that says would be targeted, like Stardust and number 74, because it doesn't target its primary. Yeah, its primary concern is summoning. Then we got Necro Valley. Everybody knows what it does. 3 Duality. 1 Royal Tribute. Royal Tribute being put to 1 was okay, and it's understandable. I'd say it's not going to be necessary once the extra support comes out. 2 Spellbook of Wisdom. I mean, you got to protect your monsters, especially your Descendants, because those D prisons become problematic, especially when using Visionary. And then 2 1-1. 1-1 is an amazing card simply because you combo it outright. Like, say you have a Recruiter, you combo this card with Recruiter, instant 3-card game. You draw 2 and then you search your 1. On to the traps. As you'll see, there aren't many of them, but that's only because this is supposed to be a toolbox deck. We've got 2 Magic Cylinder, 2 Mirror Force, 2 Needle Ceiling, and 2 Rider Spirit. As most of you people have known or seen so far, this isn't a Malefic build. I don't really agree with the Malefics too much. I don't really agree with Skillless Valley either. But it is what it is. For the extra deck, as of right now, the only cards pretty much worth having in there are pretty much number 104 Masquerade. If you don't know what he does, he takes 3 level 4 monsters, and then during either player's battle phase, when an opponent's monster effect is activated, you can detach 1 material from this card, negate that activation, and inflict 800 damage to your opponent. Now, he also has an inherent effect that doesn't require detaching. It's pretty much just once per turn, you can send the top card of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. Boom. So pretty much he's a Gravekeeper's steal, but only once per turn, and your opponent just can't stop that. On to the side. Side in that 3rd steal in case you need to get to it quick. 2 MSTs in case your opponent's possibly gonna run some hateful cards for you. 2 Spell Wall, and I discovered this about a month ago. Spell Wall, if you don't know what it does, activate one of these effects. Your opponent takes no damage during this turn. One of the effects is your opponent can't negate summons of spellcasters this turn, and they can't activate cards or effects when that is summoned. And then the other one is you target one of your spellcaster monsters, and if it attacks, your opponent can't activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. Then we have the 1 Deck Devastation. I mean, between Necro Valley and your 1500 monsters, you pretty much have targets for days for this card. And then we have 3 DNA Surgery. Pretty much to stun certain decks, like Fire Fist, or Heroes, or Dino Rabbit, I guess. We have the 1 E-Virus, because you only have really 1 monster target, and that's Visionary. And then we have 3 Robbery of the Warlords. Again, same purpose, but same purpose as DNA Surgery. Difference is your opponent can only pull out 1, like Dino Rabbit. They can only keep out their dinosaurs. They can't go for their Logias and Dolgas. Or say like Heroes, they can only make warrior monsters. And then we have 2 A Huge Revolution is Over. So get rid of those problematic mass removal cards. Alright. How time we at? 8:32. I'm gonna go through this one combo I discovered while just contemplating stuff. I found that if you play these 2 cards together, you pretty much create a lock that your opponent can't get around unless they destroy one or the other. You go DNA Surgery, declare a type, and then you go Robbery of the Warlords. In the same chain, or at some point in the duel when they're both out on the field, your opponent can only set monsters if these 2 cards come out. They can only set them. They won't be able to special or anything if you do it right. Like in Gravekeepers, they're all spellcasters. And you don't really hit into your extra deck much, so DNA Surgery, you go spellcasters, Rivalry of Warlords. Your opponent can't control anything that's not a spellcaster, so every monster in their hand is dead if it's not a spellcaster deck. Now, spellbooks, I found that there's a similar plan too. You just got to go DNA Transplant and goes and match.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty much these 2 cards and then their counterpart cards can create an immutable lock that they pretty much have to destroy to get around. And YouTube, that's been my 2014 Gravekeeper deck profile. Pre-Legacy of the Valiant.